Hello. It's time to do this again. How is everyone? It's time for more work. Yeah. More work. Now, what do we have to do? That is the question. Do you have anyone we need to add? Didn't think I was gonna stream a board today. I have at least one. Don't fucking tell me of the tales of Aramonian Prince Joshua. You are too young to understand the truth of that. Things did happen in the past streams, you guys. Yeah, it's not going to be a long stream, but it will be a stream. Let's see. So we have to add in, I think... What's the man's name who's a bear who didn't help out with anything? Plot Shiny 2? Okay. What was the man's name who is a bear? Zin, right. Or as they say, Jin, because they're fucking stupid. I hate that name so much. Zazin. If I really want to, I can put Maid Ilya and Leela. No. Okay. Right. Okay. Villains need high computing power to abuse shard corruption to turn all of Zemuria into evil furries. What about furries? So, as we saw in the last part, currently, evil Hatsune Miku is planning on... is able to use shard corruption to turn other people into discount Uwu Man. So that means that her final plan is to needing high computing power to be able to turn more people into discount evil furry man. So that way she can turn the entirety of Zemuria into evil furries. Remember that one time the prince's bodyguard turned into Tiger? Yes, and that makes me more correct, you know? Okay, let's see. I have something to say about other people, right? Right. Does not understand that Nadia would rather kill him than let him die. Good God, not very much. Oh, right. That's something I can add. It's a very simple plot point, and I think it's gonna happen just because I think it's weird, but okay, T-Phone ends up being used for mass mind control via Genesis. That's a really simple plot point that I imagine will happen because Falcom... is it wrong to say I really don't trust them not to do mind control plot again? Like, I just don't. Anyway, let's see. Which games at this point haven't had some sort of mind control? No, yeah, first chapter had mind control too, so I'm just thinking about that. FIFA. I'm sorry, Jazzy, I really am, but you came in here, you said FIFA, and all I can think is, yes, the well-known and not at all surprising to see game of fucking FIFA, Trails of the Sky edition. Yes, no mind control there. I think we need to stop pretending this is some new thing. I'm not pretending it's a new thing. It's been a thing, but like, there's it being a thing and then there's overuse of a thing. Like, you can have chocolate a lot of the time and like it, but if you have chocolate every day, you're probably gonna start disliking it. Gary, a big difference between Cassius and Class 7 getting rescued is, one, it was the very first time, and two, the situations are very... Class 7 gets rescued in the exact same way over and over again. In Code Steel 2 specifically, I'm thinking about. Where it's just like, oh no, we need help. Oh no, we're too weak. Oh, there comes a person. Now we're not too weak. Oh no, we're too weak. Oh, there comes a person. Now we're not too weak. And it's like, yeah, damn, that's annoying. Oh yeah, sure surprising a bunch of high schoolers can't beat the strongest enforcers. Oh no, I'm talking about the fact that the high schoolers can't beat the current threat, and then a new single high schooler comes in and they can't, and now they can beat the current threat. Carrie, that's what was happening there. Like they, like that, like, do you remember Code Steel 2 has that happen far fucking too much. Oh right, I forgot about Hamilton, Toa, and Nada Flynn. I forgot about them. Thanks for the reminder. I need a Toa and a Nada Flynn ones. Who's not Alphen? The prince's sister. I was gonna say brother because I'm an idiot, but you know. Where is Hamilton? Oh, the worthless princess character. Hey, maybe she'll turn out not to be a complete joke and not worth even considering for a millisecond. Maybe. I'll hope. Is Leela too minor to be included? Yeah. I'm going to put here a very important note. Estelle still has Leela's picture. Biggest secret of Zemuria. Yep, okay. Sorry, I had to blow my nose. Yes, I require a picture of cute new Toa and other girl. What about the Montmartre crew? The Montmartre... Oh my god. Holy shit. The Montmartre crew is not going to be here because I want to try keeping this actually a bit small. Oh my god, my fucking throat. Jesus Christ. I'm kind of iffy on this chapter. Not because there's anything directly bad about it, but I just kind of... I'm meh. It's like, it's happening, sure. I don't really care, per se. Thank you, Rax. Just group more people together. I want to try and make this board a little bit cleaner. So I'm not going to have people who are showing themselves to be nothings again. You think if I don't care about the characters at all, I'm gonna have a bad time with this game? It's more so that I just... Hold on. I'm getting my face up. It's more so that I just don't particularly... Like, I'm not against Swin and Nadia. It's just that what they've done for this chapter is very samey throughout. It's Nadia be silly, Swin be more serious. And it's like, fine, and then it's also Nadia wants to get with Swin. Swin doesn't notice. And it's like, okay. I'll be honest, that's not the most interesting dynamic. I like Elaine still. I like seeing her a little bit, but even here, she's just fine. That is not what I wanted to copy and paste. God damn it. Copy image. Paste image. There we go. I mean, she is a government agent, just not of normal people. Oh god, I gotta get an Erebonia again. Non-evil disciple was Russell then. Okay, so Russell's problem is that he gave birth to the greatest terrorist of the entire world and subsequently Tita, who took over the world. So we're gonna give sins of the daughter here. Sure. You're afraid to be like Reverie again? Speaking of, in your opinion, wish they did more to those two, but then again, that applies to a lot of characters. I just feel like Swin and Nadia are just not getting enough done with them. It's not that I don't think they can be interesting, I just think they haven't really done a lot that's interesting with them. Sins of the father, but in reverse, it's the sins of your daughter. Do I even have an Erebonia one here? I probably don't. Yeah, I don't. Okay. Shh. Oh, that fucking loading time. Good God. Yeah, it's just a big board, big board. You think they're doing a lot with Swin and Nadia? I mean, what do you feel like? I don't know. It's just, it's nothing that's like, nothing about what they're really about them has really changed so far from Reverie. So I don't like I didn't find them that interesting in Reverie, so here it's just kind of the same thing, and that doesn't do much for me. Zin's barely done anything. I made him the size of Texas. Correct, actually. As punishment, he gets tinied. Do you have the Racer Guild? I do have the Racer Guild. Good. Oh my goodness, all this stuff. Fuck. Okay. Okay. Right. And then the other one, right. I have a brain, it's the size of a pea, but occasionally it works. Right, so I need to get your brother's thing again. What the fuck? Oh, that's creepy as fuck. Oh, and it's just a shadow, drop shadows. That's actually kind of creepy, I'll be honest. Okay. Well, I think you have any relevance yet? No. Resolve test. Test failed. Uh-oh. Moving on. Did I already? No, I didn't. I need to patch you up. Great. What's wrong, Carrie? Is Zen being tiny fucking with your mind and making you crash out? A very understandable problem. Just found out you finished all of Act 1 in less time than it took me to finish Twin Nadia's part. Occasionally, you will find that I am bad. Okay. Like, you know, you talk about this a lot, but we need to talk about how the long you take to play the game is during the forward momentum of the actual plot. I think I'm unbiased. I think I can make an unbiased mind state enough, so to be fine. Like, I feel like I have a good enough idea. Like, I'm not calling. No, sorry. You might like. I haven't called this first act slow or anything. I'm sorry. Hold on. Because like I understand that like my own speed is there, but like I'm not saying that nothing happens with Nadia and Swin. That isn't what I'm saying. What I said is they haven't done anything. Like, I don't care for them as much because of how their characterization is the same as it was before, and that's not very interesting to me. Arguably Thor's logo, I hadn't thought about that, but that might be better. I'm not making a complaint about like the speed that the chapter's going at because I know it's my own speed stuff, but what I'm saying on Nadia and Swin still stands for now. Might it change? Yes. And am I willing for it to change? Absolutely. It's just that right now the dynamic hasn't really changed. Well, not the dynamic. I don't got a problem with the dynamic at all. It's more so that they're playing out the same beats from the previous game, which is a little, even with the new person around to try and bounce off of, which is a little bit lame. They have a motivation, but they haven't really been clear where the character is. I mean, the motivation is probably Lapis got a boo-boo and now they need to get her a new body, or something like that. Which is like fine enough motivation, honestly. Am I confused about anything with that? No, not really. I just wish that it would, like, not be hidden from the player, I guess. I guess that's, like, the biggest thing is, like, why even bother with trying to cover it up, I suppose. But that's kind of my storytelling preference in place where where it's like I don't find keeping motivational secrets to usually be all that interesting. It can be, but more often than not, I find it to be just a little bit dull. Where the fuck is Thor's? There the fucking are. Okay. Yeah, Trailers does have a pacing problem, but it doesn't apply consistently. Like, if I were to say for Daybreak 1, my memory says Chapter 1 was fine, Chapter 2, the prologue was fine, Chapter 1 was fine, Chapter 2 was fine. Chapter 3 did have a problem after a point, but that was mostly in the form of the NPC dialogue, I would actually say. It was mostly annoying because the NPC dialogue was everyone saying the same thing and not, which was annoying, but if you ignore the NPC dialogue, then it probably wouldn't have been that badly paced. Chapter 4 was fine enough too. Chapter 5, if I remember correctly, was a festival, which was a fucking God, no, even discounting the fact that I was talking to everyone, that like, good God, the amount that went on for was far, far too fucking long. Anyway. Good girl, good girl. Bad boy. Chapter 5 was the death game? Oh, thank you, I forgot about that. This is a Marion logo because she works about. Yeah, I wouldn't say you're wrong. Okay, straight up, the festival in first chapter first is the worst one. Which festival? I think there was there two? No, I'm conflating, I think, the events in Janus with another festival. I think I'm conflating that. The school play, yeah. I was like, am I conflating? It's like, yes, I am conflating. Because it's not technically a festival. Might as well be one, but it wasn't. By technicality. The only reason I remember that I didn't get more pissed at the, I think part of the reason I didn't hate the festival at first as much at the time was because it was, well, my fucking first festival, for one. They're not the same game, they're just they're something that should be one game, that's all. But I think what makes me at least remember Grancel more fondly than I would other festivals, besides it being the first, is that Grancel had at least an interesting NPC background to it. In fact, I would say Grancel might be one of the most interesting cities overall on their NPC chatting in the background. The school plays filler? What do you define as filler, Gary? Out of curiosity. Because I immediately feel like we might have different definitions of what filler is. Okay, so I don't want to be so restricting to say it's anything that doesn't move the plot forward, however. Okay. Dingley spent an inordinately long period of time on the school play, and it doesn't do enough to justify the time spent on it for the plot relevant stuff it contains. So, my definition of filler is... Filler is content which does not move the plot or the characters in any direction, and is never relevant to any of this ever again in the series. So, like, hold on, I need to replay that portion, but what some people call filler, you call padding. Padding is a different thing I would definitely define from filler too. Or filler is something that is there as an in-between, I could say. So like if you're trying to go, let's give this an idea. I would call all of the scenes in second chapter where you are in an airship and you're traveling from one place to another, I would call that filler, because it is to fill the space between the travel. There is no reason to have that necessarily, and nothing changes there at all either. But that is what I would define as filler. Padding would be something more along the lines of, I'd say, Chapter 5 of Daybreak, where you have the death game is padded out by a lot of... what do you call it? It's hard to separate the definition of padding and filler. But it doesn't matter. So here's the thing I will say about mattering. Building up your world is fine. Not everything has to matter. I misspelled Alphen? Is it two ends? You got Pandemonium padded more than the death game? I don't have the ability right now on me to oh, you're right, I spelled Alphen's name wrong up here. Like I'm the kind of writer who goes, it's fine to just have story background given, even if it's not immediately plot relevant, to give a better idea of your setting and how things are viewed in general. And that can be interesting. But as well, you don't want your readers or players or what have you needing to go through go through an entire history lesson about mayonnaise in Zemuria, when that's like, is that really gonna do anything? Like, I'm just not really sure. Because I am trying to think on this, and it's a... Why do I keep taking off my coat? Because it's bound to my backspace. I need to fix this shit up. But like... I don't think going into the background of the setting necessarily constitute, and then that setting background not being applied constitutes as filler. It's introducing new information about the setting, I don't think would normally be qualifying as filler. Filler is content, I would say, that fills in between plot points that doesn't need to be there. So again, in second chapter, the airship travels that happen regularly, I would define as filler, because we don't need that. And nothing really important happens during those parts, and it is just there to fill in between going from location to location. I disagree with saying the Genis play portion is filler, because even though it doesn't impact the plot, it isn't acting as a way to move between one part to another. It's not filling in anything, it's creating something. For the airship example, You know that they went on an airship to get from point A to point B. You don't need to know what they talked about on the airship, because that doesn't give any relevance to the fact that in the end they went from A to B. You find the details in the LSIM logo interesting? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, but that makes the play necessary then. If all your argument for why the play isn't necessary, Carrie, is they could have written something else, then doesn't that make the play necessary as an element of something in common for the two to talk about? You needed something then? What am I gonna do here again? No, they could have made it something much shorter. Can you give an example of what you would do? Where's my lines? There we go. Harry, do you hate first chapter? I'll be honest, you just sound kind of like you hate first chapter, and that's like... And you're trying to justify it, I'll be honest. It, like... I don't feel like your reasoning is very solid. It feels like you just hate it because you find the pacing to be not to your liking, and you don't like the overall story or the in-between moments, and that's, like, fine. I feel like you're trying to give a reasoning that doesn't quite work. Okay. If you don't like the pacing of first chapter, then yeah. I don't like if that's the case, then okay. When it gets to the plot, it's amazing. Okay. So major problem is the pacing of the game, which understandable. Some people like the slow burn, some people don't. Yeah, that's not something you can really change anything about for a person. You love the assault on Granso Castle? That was fun, exciting. Oh my god, my nose. Really? Again? Okay, hold on a second. I'm playing the remake. The gameplay hard carry your enjoyment. Interesting. I need to play the remake still. I'm curious if I'm gonna actually like it or not. Where the fuck do you go in this relevancy part? Or any of you three, actually? God, where the fuck did I go with you guys? You find first chapter boring. Okay. I found first chapter interesting because, well, it was my first game in the series, and that meant that I was learning about the world slowly, and I was getting introduced to different concepts. And thanks to Conspiracy Board, I was more engaged with the story than normal because I had a lot more to think about. I had a lot more questions I wanted to try finding answers to. There were, like, I was engaged with the story thanks to my conspiracy boarding, and that made everything a lot more interesting. Like, it's as the point I started the story on, it worked very, very well for just getting me interested in the world and engaged with possibilities and trying to figure stuff out. I can easily see that it being a much worse game if it isn't your first game. Because when it's not your first, yeah, you already play Code Steel and all this other stuff. And that definitely, I imagine, hurts the ability to, like, move in. Because, again, like, it's part of the reason why, now sort of I know how this goes, get to the point. Seriously, who the fuck do I don't connect you two guys to anyone. Go on my board for now until you have anything worth connecting to. First chapter from my memory would say on a replay, it definitely suffers from I think that at best first chapter would be interesting on one repeat playthrough for seeing all the stuff you might have missed before now that you know what's actually going on. I do imagine it wouldn't be that interesting on any more playthroughs than that. And I will say, I do have a slight bias. I do enjoy low-stakes stories much more than I usually do high-stakes stories. I prefer stories where it's like... You went from... Oh, right, Jazz, you went from first second to second to Code Steel 1, 2, 3 to 0 to Nazareth, which might have been a mistake. You might have experienced schizophrenia in the form of video games. But I generally prefer lower stakes stories to higher ones. Or I prefer a period of time of lower stakes to higher stakes, I suppose can be what I mean. I like it's that general build up from I'm trying to save the cat to I need to kill God that makes things interesting. Like, it's why, even though I really fucking hate Chapter 3 of Zero, I was actually really fine with Chapters 1 and 2 of Zero. Because they were, well, I won't call them quite completely low stakes, but they were lower stakes than what came after, which if Chapter 3 was handled better, I probably would have enjoyed the entire game a lot more due to the build-up. Am I a Slice of Life fan? No. As I'm saying, it's more so that I enjoy the build-up to bigger things. I like starting off. I like stories which can keep a low to ground story that isn't too absurd or high stakes for a time. So like characters that make mistakes, things can go wrong, and you can be surprised by the events. While in the case of something like the end of second chapter, I'm hyped up by the end of that, but at the same time, if you take a step back, you're like, there's no way fucking Joshua or Estelle are dying. You know? Like, that's not gonna happen. The higher the stakes, like that's the thing. The higher the stakes, the more predictable the plot becomes. It's because like the more you're like, oh no, this villain's gonna destroy the world, and you're like, okay, if the world is destroyed, then the story ends and nothing can ever happen again. So you're like, okay, that's probably not gonna happen. Well, if you have the stakes of, oh my god, if they get away with this, they're gonna fucking be able to buy up the orphanage, and you're like, okay, you know what, I can reasonably see that happening. It doesn't kill anyone. It's a bad thing that happens, but it is like a threat that might happen. It's why that lower stakes as a starting point really gets me in. Because once you've invested me in the low stakes, I can swing a lot more with the high stakes. If that makes any sense to people here. I'm not sure if it does. Yeah, no, it's why I'm never, I suppose that is that is just how I prefer my storytelling when I'm, in most cases. Occasionally I'll like a story where it's high stakes from the beginning, but that's usually more like a old quest story. So, like, if you have a story where it's like, oh, we need to prevent the end of the world, and you have everyone on a journey to prevent it, kind of like, I guess fucking Lord of the Rings is actually a good comparison here. I enjoy that, because even though your goal overarching is of, like, massive importance, a lot can happen in between to get to that end point, which can make it still interesting to me. Do you think your bottom 3 games are First Chapter, Daybreak, and Zero? With Zero being the bottom? Zero might just be on the bottom for me solely because, Jesus fucking Christ, I can't put in enough words into how much I hate the Chapter 3 of Zero. Again, that was the point of the entire series where I was gonna drop it because it was so fucking bad. But, yeah. I always find these conspiracy board streams interesting to do just for talking about storytelling and stuff, honestly. It's the best thing about doing it. Like, I understand what you mean. You confess you don't understand the concept of stakes. You enjoy the story for character moments. Yeah. But, yeah, which is probably why you like DB moments. I see. I will say that currently my biggest concern for DB2 besides time travel is a plot point that can really fuck over your story is I really hope they're not going to just keep doing the same thing. One of my predictions for the end of the chapter, we're going to do what was actually suggested by Kyle, which is, you know, bring up people to distract the fucking Desire turned furry members and send one person to actually shut down / destroy the Tower of Evil. But right, what I was gonna say. My biggest concern right now for the story is just like, I hope they're not going to do this thing with the time travel where you're forced along the plot line where you hit a dead end each time. Like, I really hope they they actually let us choose before we get a dead end. Because like, I will be admit, your gimmick is kind of annoying when it's not a gimmick. It's like, oh wow, we have time travel, and it's like, okay, but your story is still completely linear here. Even if you present this branching pathway kind of deal, there is no branch. If you force me down a route, then make me go back and choose the other route. It's like, that's a tad lame, I'll be honest. Yeah, I suspect it might be like that, but I hope it isn't. Because I just find it very, I find that kind of a waste of what they're conceptualizing here. They're gonna do the branching route thing, but there aren't branching routes, and you don't get the choice. It's like, that's a bit lame. Anyway. Thank you, everyone, for coming to today's live stream. Hope you guys had a good time. Is there time coming? May suggest you subscribe, hit a gym bell so wherever I'm streaming. Like the on the stream, leave a like, leave in the comment, leave a comment below, and share the stream around with whoever you think might be interested. But until next time, until the next of time, I'm gonna get up close. I'm gonna get quiet, and I'm gonna say goodbye.